Well, hi, folks. How you doing? Long time no see. Rev'd Paul here from St. Augustine of Canterbury Anglican Church in Windsor. It's been a while since I've offered a message from the truck, and I just thought that this week might be a good week to offer one. Just a couple of things to share with you, a couple of announcements, and then a really brief teaser of a reflection on what's coming in our worship service tomorrow morning. So my first announcement to share with you is that this coming Sunday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, October 18th, we're going to be having another drive-through food drive. And our drive-through food drive this particular month is going to benefit two organizations. One is Canterbury College's food bank, as the students there continue to be in need for those foodstuffs and so on that are always required by all of the food banks. So if you're able to support that through a gift of a can of beans or vegetables, or cans of beans or vegetables, or whatever else it is that you might be able to offer, I'm sure the community at Canterbury College would be extremely grateful and would really appreciate all of those donations. The other organization that we're going to be supporting this particular month is Street Help down on Wyandotte Street. Now, Street Help has indicated a couple of things. I've spoken with Christine there, and she's indicated a couple of items that her community would find really valuable, especially as we head into these cooler autumn and soon-to-be winter months. One of the things that she's asked for, which won't be a surprise to anybody, is socks. The importance of a dry pair of socks to somebody is immeasurable. And those folks that are living on the street certainly can benefit from a clean and dry pair of socks if that opportunity presents itself. So if you can slide out to Walmart or wherever else you might be able to find a big package of socks to be able to bring along, that would certainly be appreciated. The other item that Christine indicated that would be very valuable is underwear, both men's underwear and women's underwear, as folks living on the street, of course, don't necessarily always have laundry facilities, so it's valuable to have that. Toiletries, such as containers of toothpaste and toothbrushes and soaps and deodorants and those kinds of things, are always appreciated by the community at Street Help. And the other item, which may surprise some of you, is tarps. Folks that are living on the street, one of the biggest challenges that they have is keeping their possessions, as meager as they might be, keeping their possessions dry. And tarps are invaluable for that, for those folks. Sure, they can put all of their stuff into garbage bags and so on, but it's certainly, if they can put everything and wrap it all up in a nice tarp, that certainly will help them keep their material possessions dry and keep themselves dry too. A person being able to wrap up their stuff, or even to be able to wrap up themselves in something that will keep the water out, keep the moisture out, keep that wet snow out as it starts to make its way to us, will certainly make a difference for a person living on the street. As small a difference as it might be, it'll make a difference to them. So that's the other thing that they've requested. So socks, underwear, some toiletries, or if you happen to be able to stop at the dollar store and grab a bunch of those little 6x8 tarps, they don't need big ones, just the little ones. That would make a huge difference to folks that are living on the street. So we'll share that ministry with our friends at Street Help this coming week, the 18th of October. The other announcement that I have for you is in regards to worship for tomorrow morning. That's Sunday, October the 18th. Now, we have at St. Augustine been gathering both on-site and online for worship on Sunday mornings. On-site at 9 a.m. and online at 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning, we will still continue to offer our on-site worship and our online worship, but there's going to be a little bit of a twist to our on-site worship tomorrow morning. Earlier this week, I unfortunately came down with some symptoms that looked like they could be COVID-related, so I made my way to one of the local Windsor-Essex County Health Unit testing centers and had a test done to determine that, no, in fact, I am safe. I am not a COVID carrier, and I had a negative test result, thanks be to God. But a result of that particular test is that you need to be a negative result on your test and 24 hours without symptoms before you're supposed to enter back into the community. And guess what? I'm not 24 hours without symptoms, and we're approaching Sunday morning. I wouldn't be able to answer no to all of those questions that our greeters have been asking us at the back door. Have you had symptoms, or have you had a fever? No, actually, I have had those things, and unfortunately that means I shouldn't be in the building with our community tomorrow morning. So as a result, what we're going to do is, instead of just canceling everything and throwing everything into a muck, we're going to continue to offer worship on Sunday morning on site at 9 a.m. The difference being that I will be present, but not in the building. So we'll all be able to gather, we'll all be able to sit in our pews, we'll all be able to listen to Jonathan's prelude as well as other music throughout the service. But what we're going to be sharing in is a service of morning prayer where I, on a computer screen, will be leading worship from my living room. So folks at church will be able to watch on the big monitors at the front of the church and listen as I share in the words of prayers and as Chris shares in the words of scripture and as I share my sermon tomorrow morning. Just that I'm not going to be on site with you. I will be online, but everyone else can be on site. So that will be our 9 o'clock worship service tomorrow morning. Our 10 o'clock worship service tomorrow morning, I wasn't able to record with all of my colleagues because I was quarantined, and therefore the other three folks, Father Robert and Reverend Elise and Reverend Charla, were able to record without me there. But they graciously allowed me the gap to be able to to be able to insert the sermon. So tomorrow morning, I will be preaching both at the online pre-recorded worship service as well as our on-site live, but kind of from a distance worship service. I know, it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. Whatever service you would prefer to attend, please attend that service tomorrow, Sunday morning, October 11th. I will be there, whether it's pre-recorded or whether it's live on a TV monitor. I will be with you. We will share in prayer together, and we will offer our prayer and praise and thanksgiving to God here on this Thanksgiving weekend. Now, I wanted to share a little bit about my sermon tomorrow, but I don't want to give away a whole lot. I'm kind of wanting to make sure that I'm keeping most of my tricks to myself, keeping most of my secrets, to myself. But I do want to share with you one thing. Tomorrow morning's lectionary includes the story of the 10 lepers, the 10 lepers who went to Jesus and requested that permission to be healed, requested that gift of miraculous healing so they could re-enter into the community. And I got thinking about what that looked like. 10 people all going together, working for the same project, working for the same task, kind of like a sporting team, whether it's football or soccer or hockey or baseball, whatever it happens to be. There's a connection there. And I think that's about as much as I'm going to tell you. There's more about that, both in our on-site worship service, as I'll share that sermon with you live tomorrow morning, or you can go to the 10 o'clock service and watch the video of the sermon that was pre-recorded and added to our 10 a.m. online worship service. But just keep that in mind for a second. The importance of teamwork. When you're a member of a team, and yet you're still an individual too. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to share. There's a lot more to talk about, and there's a lot more that you'll be able to hear if you join us for worship at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on site or at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning online. Look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day. And as I haven't shared for a little while, but certainly it's time that I shared it now, keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. Blessings to you all. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving.